trying to create something that you're passionate about or going after your dreams and trying to build that while juggling a full-time job and family and other responsibilities is challenging. However, it's not impossible. It wasn't too long ago. I've been doing this for about maybe 5 years, and it wasn't too long ago where I had to leverage these same principles that I'm going to share with you today to the best of my ability to try to create the life that I wanted while still being present and doing the things that I need to do to be able to live, to be able to sustain, to pay the bills. And sometimes it can be a little bit demoralizing. So what a better time than at the start of the year to be able to talk about ways to balance all the responsibilities you have to do, but not letting what you're passionate about or your dream fall to the wayside, or if you're juggling both, making it to where you burn out and one has to give. And most of the time, the thing that gives is the thing you're passionate about. Why? Because it's not the thing that produces money for you. So I'm going to share with you tons of stories here tonight. I'm going to share with you 7 principles that I believe that if you can try your best to incorporate these things, you'll be way better off and closer to achieving a balance of being able to be there for your family, be there for your job, and at the same time, be able to go ahead and build the thing that you want to be able to build. But before we dive into that, if you're watching here on the replay, make sure you leave some comments below, share some of the struggles you've been experiencing with, and I'll respond back to them. And if you're here live, drop your questions. I can't wait to be able to engage with you guys in regards to this. So before we dive into all of this here, Shauna, my beautiful wife, is always here, number one, to support. Congratulations on 78K. We're so close to 100. We're almost there. Pack, what is going on, man? It's been so long since I've seen you, man. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. So guys are in for a little treat here tonight. So it wasn't too long ago. I don't juggle as many things now, okay? But it wasn't always like that. There was a time in my life where I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be able to go ahead and work out, get out of working out at wake up at 4 o'clock, right? Get to the gym at 4:30, work out until 5:30 in the morning, get home, shower, eat breakfast, sit down at my desk, grind my side hustle from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning, get in my car, drive to work. It's an hour drive. I will listen to podcasts, listen to videos on the drive there, get to work, be there until 7 p.m. at night, during my lunch, eating while I'm working on my side hustle, getting home at 7 p.m., getting off at 7, getting home at 9 p.m., okay, sitting down, checking out any final emails, anything else that I have to do, and then literally eating a snack, like a little snack, going to sleep by 10 a.m., and doing that again 7 days a week. 7 days a week for a year straight. For a year straight, okay? In order for me to be able to try my best to get myself to a place where I could live the life that I wanted to live. So I hope that you guys are excited, because these 7 principles, as simple as they may sound, can be extremely life-changing and unlock something for you and your family. So Helen, what is going on? Welcome, welcome. Mosto Gaming, what's up? Thanks so much because you helped me so much. It's so incredible to see you guys here. Dev, what is going on? What is going on, man? Let's go. I am super excited here for you guys to be able to join me. So let's go ahead and dive into what these 7 principles are. The first one seems to be the simplest, but it's stick to a schedule and do the schedule, right? Like if you don't have no discipline into the things you're trying to do, it's going to be really hard for you to be able to balance everything that we have here. So everyone talks about setting up a schedule, but what does it actually look like in practice? And the way that I like to think about this is that if I'm going to sit down and try to accomplish everything I need to do to be able to help make sure my family has food on the table, roof over our head, but then still try to pursue the passion that I want to be able to pursue, and still have time to worry about your own health, your own eating, your sleeping. Like there's only so many hours in the day. And it's about prioritizing the things that actually matter and working backwards. And what I mean by working backwards is thinking about what are the non-negotiables. Non-negotiables, what I mean is like, okay, I got to be at work X amount of days a week at this amount of time. That you have no control over, right? So that goes in the calendar, and it's like, hey, during these times, I'm at work. Okay, now you sit down and you think about, okay, if I got kids, if I got a wife, if I have a family, okay, what are the other non-negotiables that I got to take care of during the week? Do I got to take my kids to practice? Do I got to pick them up from school? Do I got to sit down and do homework with them? All right, like add those things in there. Then you're thinking about, you ask yourself, okay, like what time am I going to eat dinner? What time am I going to spend time with my wife? Or what time am I going to focus on maybe my health? Or what time am I going to prep for the next day? Like, start with adding the non-negotiables, because what happens is we do it in reverse. We say, on this day, I'm going to stream. On this day, I'm going to create content. On this day, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to work out. And then what happens is life gets in the way because you didn't plan or think about all the things that normally happen in your life. And what happens? You miss one time, then you miss again, and then you miss again. So it's super important to be able to create a schedule. And what I ended up doing at that time was that I sat down and I made a sacrifice. And I was like, I'm not gonna stay awake past 10. I'm gonna wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. As dreadful as that sounds, I knew that I needed to make a sacrifice to be able to go ahead and get to the place where I wanted to be. And I'm gonna share with you, how do you achieve that as a single person, as someone with a family? But if you don't sit down and plan out the week and have focus, you're gonna let life control you. And if you let life control you, your dreams are going to be pushed to the wayside. You're going to keep in this hustle and bustle. You're going to be unhappy. And the next thing you know, 5 years pass by and you're like, what happened? Okay. Like, you really need to start thinking about, as simple as that sounds, set a schedule and stick to it. But it goes beyond that. Okay. It's not just about the schedule. Okay. Now I know some of you guys have been tuning in. And again, if there's things you're struggling with when it comes to how do I do all these things and still get it done, and still show up for everyone that I need to show up, including myself, drop a comment. Let me know what you're struggling with. What is it? Is it family? Is it responsibility? Is it energy? Energy is a big one. Where do you find the energy after a long day of work, after everything you got to do, to then invest and create content, to show up and learn and to study? Okay. It's discipline. And it's a desire to know that it's like, hey, would I rather struggle for the next year and live a life that other people are not willing to live for 1 year? Or am I just going to let every year pass by, and every time January comes around, I'm going to say, this year's the year I'm going to do it? There has to be a point where you make a change in your life and you decide to say, hey, I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to commit this year. Why? Because I refuse to live my life unhappy. And you are going to be unhappy because this is a struggle. It's challenges. And even when you get to this side of it, where you're no longer working for someone else and you're building something for yourself, it's even more challenging. But it's rewarding because you know you built it. Nobody knows your story but you, right? Nobody knows the story that I've gone through. Nobody knows all the struggles and challenges that I've gone through to get to where I am today. Most person that knows it is my family, is Shauna, right? Nobody knows the tears, the struggles, the worry, the sleepless nights. There was a point where I was not getting enough sleep and I was almost becoming narcoleptic, is how you say it. But either way, I was falling asleep while driving. Dangerous, right? I'm not saying you got to go to that extent, but at a certain point, it's just like I was tired of living the same life over and over again and not seeing something different, but then continuing to complain about it and not taking action. Okay. So I just want you to know that, like, this is something that I'm speaking, not just because it's a list of 7 things. It's something that I've lived and I'm currently living, and I'm not doing it perfectly, but it's possible. It's challenging, but it's not impossible. Okay. We got media here says, always slam, man, but wanted to hop in the live and shout you out for the help. You content creators out there, look, this is the reason why I'm here. This is the reason why I want to share. And I hope to be able to continue to do these for you, to hopefully show you guys more than just like the streaming side of things, right? This is facts. We got protein. You'll protect your peace 100%. I find it hard to have time to sleep between everything. Listen, I was there. I explained it. We're going to dive a little bit more into that here in just a moment, but it's just like, how do you get started with discipline? I don't like structure. And you see, that is something that is massive, right? It's not about you don't like structure. It's about the structure and the things you must do in those structures are not a priority for you, right? I think it becomes that when you can say, if structure is the thing that stops you from being able to kind of get discipline, it's the fact that whatever you're trying to be disciplined towards, you're not really truly interested in doing that thing, because you got to want it more like every day, right? Like as much as I love to work out, I hate working out. Nobody likes to work out. Nobody likes to go to the gym. I don't like spending time working out. I don't want to sweat. I don't want to, like, it's not about an enjoyment. Sometimes it's more about doing the action and doing the activity, because most of the time, once you start, you finish. So for example, if I'm sitting here and I'm like, I got to go to the gym, I got to work out, I may procrastinate. But the moment that I get up, get dressed, I'm in motion. I've started, right? And it's just like, it's one of those things where you just got to start and not set this massive goal for yourself, right? So here's where it leads me into like tip number 2, which is you have the schedule. Now you need to prioritize the things you do inside the schedule. Prioritize your tasks. Now, there's 2 different things here. There's must-dos and there's nice-to-dos, okay? And this is what I like to call being a busy bee, okay? Now, there's thousands of things you could be doing. And most of the time, we procrastinate the thing that truly matters and do the things that are fun to do, but don't really make you any progress. So this is where you see like, yo, I'm grinding. I'm streaming every day. I'm creating content. But I'm not seeing no growth. Question is, it's not about doing the work. It's about doing the right work. So how do you start prioritizing the things that truly matter? So for me, when I was looking through the process of trying to transition and build my business, there's 90,000 things that I could have been doing. I could have built a website. I could have had a logo. I could have been doing everything under the sun. But there was only one thing that I needed to do every single day to be able to get what I want, and that was getting clients and doing the work for the client. That was it, right? If I wasn't doing the thing to get me clients and I wasn't doing the work, it didn't matter. Nothing else mattered, okay? So when I say that, you have to ask yourself, hey, if I want to become a streamer and I want to start creating content, or I want to build a business I want to build a business for myself, or turn my passion into something more, you got to ask yourself, what is the one thing that you must do? And I'm going to answer that question for you, especially if you want to become a streamer, you want to become a content creator. The number one thing you should be doing is not streaming. Crazy coming from me, right? But if you know me long enough, you know what I talk about. Become a content creator first, become a streamer second. Why? Streaming requires time and dedication and focus and consistently showing up. Creating content only requires you to show up when you are available, okay? And what it does is that it allows you to be able to create something more sustainable for the long term. So if I were to say, hey, stream or create content, if the one thing you should focus on is making content, make content. And if that's the only thing you focus on every single week for 3 months, for 6 months, and you just keep creating content, you are now focusing on the one singular thing that's going to transform your life and change everything for you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your name is. It doesn't matter what days you want to stream. It doesn't matter your schedule. Like, none of that matters. Okay. So you have to ask yourself, what are the things every single week that I got to do to be able to make this possible? What is the activity that I must do? So if I want to work out, and I'm going to sit here and say, okay, like, yeah, I'm going to work out so I can go food shopping. I can go eat. I got to get weights. I got to get clothes for the gym. Like, listen, if you want to start working out, what's the one singular thing you can do to start changing your life right now? It's not working out. It's not working out. If you just say, there's one thing that I could focus on that I can do that's going to really generate the results I want, it's eating. It's eating right. Okay. You don't even have to work out. Why? You don't have to do all the things. Right now, just focus on your eating. If you focus on your eating, you'll change your life. You'll change everything else. And then later you can add in the additional things of working out, right? So I want you to start thinking about what if we make our content from streaming and gaming? Then that is 100% okay, right? Like if you're saying, I'm going to go live to make content, cool, do that. But make sure that the goal and the one single thing that matters is the content. If you start streaming just to stream and you don't have a plan and you don't have a focus and you're just like, I'm just going to go live and hopefully somebody shows up and maybe I'll make a piece of content, that's where it becomes nice to do's. Okay. And it doesn't become a must to do, right? You don't just say, hey, today I'm going to work. I'm just not going to go to work. Like, all right, you do that a few times, you're not going to have a job. So it's the thing where you got to start thinking about, like, you have to eliminate the distraction. There's so many different platforms. There's so many things you could be doing. But the only thing that matters is what is going to help you achieve the goal you want. So right now, for me, right, I could be streaming every single day. I could be doing so much. But what's my singular focus? 1 video a day, 1 short a day, 2 live streams a month. That is my focus right now. Why? Because I know that right now in this current season, if I do those things, every other goal that I want to hit will be accomplished. Okay. I'm not worried about anything else. I'm not worried about accomplishing anything else. I've prioritized the things that I must do in my business, in my fitness, in my personal life, in my family life. Like, what's that one thing? I know that if every time that I have dinner with Shauna every night, I am present, not on my phone, focused with her, having dinner, enjoying our time together, and I commit to 1 to 2 hours every night with her, I know that we're going to be happy, that we're going to communicate better, right? Because that's the one thing that I want to prioritize in my relationship, and that's spending time together. Okay. If I'm sitting, so again, you want to start thinking about these kind of things and start progressing as you start going through it. So the first thing is setting your schedule. The next thing is prioritizing the tasks and the things that matters. Okay. And if you don't really understand, like when it comes to streaming, what are the things that matter? I did a live stream not too long ago on my channel, which is here, right? How to become a full-time streamer is not luck. This is a super long training, but it's about 10 hours, and it's about how do you prioritize content creation, streaming, and building something for you to go full-time as a gamer with only 10 hours a week. And if you have less, you just eliminate some of the things that right now don't make sense for you, right? So check that out if you haven't, and just focus on those things there, okay? Now, I know some of you guys have popped in here, and again, if you're watching the replay, I appreciate you enjoying it. Drop a comment. It says, the second you stop streaming, the money stops. Content is long-term sustainable. Listen, every time you make a piece of content, this is what I call making a deposit in your bank account, okay? It's a deposit in your bank account. Now, most of the time when you make a video in the beginning, you're not getting no money for that. But your goal is like, hey, I'm going to keep doing this thing because I know my money compounds. The first year, I may make $0. The second year, I may make $1,000. The third year, I may make $5,000, because I know that constant input into the thing that I'm trying to do, if I'm willing to sustain it long enough, it will generate results. The only problem is that most of us don't wait for the results. It's always delayed. The work is required first, and then the results follow. But most people quit before the results can arrive. So imagine, right? If I was sitting here and telling you, hey, if for the next 5 years, you just keep doing this one thing, I'm going to give you $10 million, right? Most of you are like, okay, I'll do that, because there's a guarantee of what you're going to get at the end of it. But the funny thing is that there is no guarantee. Nobody can sit here and tell you you're going to be successful by this much time. You're going to make this much money by this much time. You have to be willing to learn, to go and do the work to be able to get there, and hope that you're going to be good enough and improve, and over time sustain it long enough to allow luck to be able to happen. Okay. And that's how you're going to go ahead and succeed. But you have to be willing to commit. And I can't stress it enough. Like, you just have to make a decision to say that I am done living the way that I want to live, and I want to do something different. I'm tired of seeing other people live their dreams and me just say, I wish that was me. The only difference between you and them is that they made a decision to start and not give up. So the question is, are you going to keep doing the same thing you're doing? Or are you finally going to say, I'm going to do this thing because I know I have a skill, I know I have a passion, I know I can do this. So what's stopping you? It's fear. It's the unknown. It's the fear of failure. For so long, fear of failure stopped me, right? Like, what happens if I fail, right? And then after I got over the fear of failure, it was the fear of success. Fearing that I would succeed and being afraid of what would happen if I succeeded. So these thoughts never go away. So if you're just waiting for the perfect moment, I'm waiting for, this to kind of level out. Oh, hey, I'm waiting until I get this PC. Or, hey, I'm waiting until I get this new job. Or, hey, I'm waiting. Like, it's never going to be the perfect moment. It's never going to be the perfect moment. Oh, let's go ahead and have a kid 2 years from now. It's going to be perfect. It's never going to be a perfect moment. You either do it now or you're never going to do it. Okay. And that's the thing I want you kind of to understand. Now, when you start thinking about the next thing, okay, set a schedule, set the tasks, but here's the most important thing. You will not succeed if you don't communicate with your loved ones. Okay. This can't be a solo mission. Okay. You can't just take it upon yourself and say, hey, for the next 12 days or next 2 years, I'm just going to lock in and stay in this room. No birthday parties, no anything. Just exclude everyone and making that decision on your own. Okay. If you communicate the things you're trying to accomplish with the people in your circle, with your family, with your spouse, with your kids, and you let them know, it prevents misunderstandings. Okay. Because most of the time, Spouses are living sometimes throughout the day different lives, right? Everybody has their own thing going on. And if you don't want to be able to get interrupted, because guess what? If I right now decided to start streaming, I don't even have to tell Shauna, and I'll just start streaming. But then there's going to come a time where she's like, yo, let's go do this. Let's go do this. I'm like, I can't, I'm streaming. Oh, I didn't know you were streaming. Now, obviously, Shauna will never not know that I'm streaming. But it's a simple fact of like, why take it there? Why not sit down and say, hey, my goal is to take this 1 hour every single week or 2 hours on Saturday, my day off. And I just want to be able to be in my room, making this video, making this content, working on the thing I got to work on. Can you watch the kids? Can you take care of this stuff? And then after that, I can do the things I got to do, right? Then at that point, you guys are in an agreement. And then what starts to happen is that it starts to open up doors for you, and you start to actually do the thing without feeling guilty that you're avoiding or neglecting people. And for the longest time, I neglected everyone around me. Why? Because I was so focused in on what I wanted to do that, yes, it was rewarding for me because I was building something, but it was tainting the relationships around me without me even knowing. And then when I started craving relationship and craving people around me, those relationships have been tainted because for so long, I just neglected them, as opposed to prioritizing and making space and time for the people that I love while also still pursuing my passions. And this is why all these things kind of go together. If you can communicate, if you can set schedules, if you can prioritize the right things, you'll see that things become a lot easier. I stress less now about the million things that I can be doing. Just like, listen, I just got to make videos. Like everything around my thing right now, I just got to make videos. If I could keep making videos, if I could focus on making videos and doing that, that's going to improve my communication skills, my presentations, my editings, my knowledge, and build my community. And I can take this that's in here and put it out to the people to use it however they see fit. For me, that's my daily deposits. Okay. Spending time with Shauna, those are my things. And she knows when I'm recording. She knows when I have to do work. She understands when things need to get done. So again, you have to communicate, because you can't just take this challenge for yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to do this, right? You have to sit down and say, hey, my plan is to quit my job. And my plan is to take something I'm passionate about and build something around it. And I want to make sure that I have your support. It may be a season where I'm going to be working a lot later. Maybe 2 times a week, you may be going to sleep by yourself, because that's going to be the only time that I'm able to work, and it's midnight to 3 a.m. in the morning. Okay. I want us to communicate that, because the last thing I want is, and Shauna can attest to this, for a long time, Shauna was going to bed by herself because I was working late into the night. Like, yo, listen, I'm grinding. And in the beginning, it was like, I don't care what you say, I'm doing this. And that didn't work out well for us because she didn't have a say in what I was doing. So I was building something for me, but when in all reality, I'm trying to build something for my family. And if she doesn't feel involved and she doesn't feel like she has a say, then what's the point of doing it anyways? If the people that you're building this for are going to resent you or not feel valued because you didn't incorporate them or include them in the vision that you have. So again, I want you to be hungry. I want you to be ambitious, but I also want to encourage you to not make the mistake that I made and not communicate that with the people around you, so that way they can support you and also respect you at the same time. Okay. Like, that is super important. Now, let's talk about burnout. Okay. Because I've been there, I've done that, and you've probably experienced that too. So my tip number 4 is to take breaks and try to avoid burnout as much as possible. Okay. This is why I've laid it out this way. If you set a schedule, if you prioritize your tasks, if you communicate with your loved ones, you kind of minimize the risk of burning out. Okay. Black Entertainment, what's going on, man? If I missed some of you guys' questions or some of the things you guys are saying, I appreciate the love. I'm just in flow right now. And when I'm in flow, I think it's the best for me to just keep going, to be able to share this, because I'm super passionate about this. I didn't start this channel or start creating this content, and everything that you're going to see this year is about truly giving back. And I think the biggest thing for me, it's like, it hurts my heart to be able to see people that have talents, that have skills, that have passions, but maybe not the technical knowledge, maybe not the head knowledge of how social media works, how online works. And to see that we live in an era where there's tons of resources and knowledge and free education that's available for you to be able to learn any skill you could potentially think of. It breaks my heart to see people that don't take action and don't see the possibility of what could happen if you just committed, if you just started, if you just were willing to be bad for a while and know that people are going to laugh at you, that people are going to say your content is bad, or that people are going to judge you, your family, your own people that you enjoy, like, oh, you're stupid for trying to do something like that. If you know that that's going to come with it, and I can share that with you, that comes with it, then if you know what's on the other side of it, then you should be willing to kind of do that. Because listen, there was a long time ago, somebody told me, this is like a quote, right? Where do the best ideas live? Okay. And the best ideas, the best skills, the best talent, you know where it's at? In the graveyard. Because so many people didn't pursue their passion, their gifts, the things that are available. I mean, you don't have to succeed, but at least try. You have to at least try. Because if you don't try, you're going to have regret. And the worst thing that you can do is to be able to keep saying, I'm going to do this thing and never do it, and then become a used to be. Used to be's don't make no honey. So trust me when I say this, that it is a lot harder to do than it is to say. Everything I'm telling you right now, super easy to say. I mean, look, I look like a golden goose saying like, yo, I live a perfect life. Super hard in execution. You're going to fail 9 times out of 10. And I just want to keep it real with you, because I don't want you to think that me personally, I execute this 100% perfectly. There's moments I burn out. There's moments that I don't feel like doing it. There's moments that I question, why am I doing it? There's moments where I want to just go back to a simple life. There's just like, it never goes away. And I don't want you to ever think that I'm perfect. And I want you to realize that all I'm trying to do is share some experiences with you, things that possibly have worked with me, and seeing if anything in there resonates with you. And hopefully, a little bit of you, even if it's 1% of you guys, see a change and make a drastic change in your life and improve something for you and your family. Okay. Like that's kind of the biggest thing. It took me a while to have it set up with minimal interruption. Sundays, I do 3 videos. Wife is at work, then edit during the week to get them out. I utilize the platform to automate most of it. It's all about finding the time and making the risk to be able to go out there and do it. Okay. And Georgie, and I think that's kind of the biggest thing that we're kind of seeing here. It's going through this process and knowing that it's going to take time. Like, I just want you guys to know, I didn't know I was going to be here. I did not know I was going to be here. But when Shauna sits down and says, hey, look at the goals you have set. And you never know the person you're going to become until you are that person. And then when you become that person, you put yourself out there to become somebody else. Okay. And you have to like, just understand that it takes time. So what I really wanted to say with the burnout is to take breaks, step aside. And if you can find time, for me, I love working. If it was up to me, I can be in this room 24/7 grinding away. But I know that for the long-term sustainability, it's not the lifestyle that I want. So I stopped being a workaholic and I started to live like a life that I want. Like, if I were to do this for 100 years, what would I want my days to look like? What would I want my weeks to look like? And then even though I don't have that life right now, how do I create that life? How do I work as if that was it? I'm like, okay, I only want to work 4 hours a week. Like, I only want to work, it's nowhere near that. But it's like, okay, so if I want to work 4 hours a week, what are the most important things I got to do every single week? What are the things I got to prioritize? Who do I got to talk to? What days do I got to block out? And you start building from there, right? So over everything, for me, my breaks are when I'm doing other things than working. That may be gaming. That may be spending time with Shauna. That may be with my family. That may be out and about. Like, that may be doing just work stuff around the house. Whatever can take me away from doing this, for me, it's a break and a recharge. Sometimes it's not just like sleeping and slaying on the couch and doing nothing, but it's stepping away and knowing that, hey, right now, I'm not thinking about work. I'm not thinking about this. I'm being present in whatever the activity it is that I'm doing now. And for me, that recharges me and makes sure that I can sustain this long term. Another thing is not trying to overdo it. it was recently, probably in the last maybe 5 or 6 weeks, that I had like a moment where I was just sitting down, and I don't remember what I was even doing, but I was sitting down and I was just like, you know what? Like, what am I rushing to? What am I trying to get to so fast? If I'm going to be doing this forever and I'm going to be playing this game forever, what am I rushing to? Why am I trying to upload 6 videos a week? Why am I trying to stream every other day? Why am I trying to do it? Like, who am I rushing for? So if I'm playing this game forever, why not move in confidence? Why not move in sustainability? And it's like, you know what? 2 videos a week, 2 live streams a month, I could see myself doing that forever. I could see myself sustaining that. I can see myself not being burnt out from that. Why? Because my daily activity is 1 video, 1 short a day. I used to batch record videos. Now, again, if your schedule requires you to batch record. For me, doing a daily practice of recording videos daily and 1 video a day, 1 short a day, not only does it keep me ahead of schedule, but it also doesn't make me feel guilty on the days that I don't record. Because I know it's like, hey, I didn't get to record today. Cool. I can do that tomorrow. But I know that my daily task is this thing. And if I do that thing when I go to sleep, I'm going to be satisfied knowing that I did something to get me closer to my goal. So I want you to just start thinking about that. Now, okay, most of us are solo creators. We may have family, we may have spouses, we may have friends, but not everybody's in your space, and not everybody understands what you're doing. So as an individual, the next thing that I try to do, and this is kind of like tip number 5, which is leverage tools to save time. Okay. Now, just like Georgie mentioned, he uses content to schedule. You can use tools to be able to kind of create. One of the things that I'm gonna try to experiment with, and again, I like to try things before I truly introduce them to you, but it's this concept of, you know how we set up overlays and graphics for your streams, or you do banners, and like whenever you edit, like you have these little banners pop up, subscribe, all these little things that pop up. Okay. So my concept is editing takes a long time. Okay. Now again, this strategy is not for everyone, but this is a strategy that for me, I want to incorporate and experiment with to see how well I can execute. So for those of you that don't know, the way content is moving now is more authentic content, right? More real, more raw, more focused in on just being the real you and sharing that with the people, and the people that like you, and the people that don't like you. Like, it's just what it is, and that's how you push forward. So for me, the idea is to set up a live stream, okay? Set up a live stream with everything I would use in a video, for example, okay? If I wanted to go ahead and share my screen, okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay. If I wanted to share my camera, I'm going to share my camera. If I wanted a comment to be able to pop up, or a graphic to pop up, I have a graphic pop up. Okay. And I would incorporate that all into my stream. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm saying stream, I'm not saying I'm going live. Okay. But my goal here is to create content live and don't edit. Okay. And again, right, it's not for everyone, but what I'm thinking for me is like, if I can sit down, I'm going to play a game, and I'm like, okay, hey, I have an idea for this game this content I'm going to make. Okay. So if I know that when I go live, when I make a video, I like to be able to put my logo on the side. I like to be able to maybe pop up a subscribe, or image come up, or hey, I'm going to use some screenshots that I'm going to share. So I'm going to grab those screenshots. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go live. I'm going to start my video, say my intro, say what I got to say, showcase what I want to showcase, switch screens with either a hotkey, a stream deck, or just literally clicking the buttons, going through my content and getting to the end, ending that live stream or that recording, and uploading that video. At the end of the day, if you make a decent thumbnail, if you have a good title, and you're uploading to YouTube, trust me, if the content and the value of it is good, I think that there's value in being able to do something in real time the amount of skills you develop, the amount of things you do, you can earn. Like there's 100% you can make a video better with editing, 100%, right? You can cut out breaths, you can cut out stuff, but there's also tools that eliminate that for you. So I can record this whole live stream right now, right? And then I can go ahead and put it in a tool like Descript, and I can eliminate all the breaths, all the pauses, skip to the parts that I want to skip to, add graphics, right? But at the end of the day, what I do is that I come here with a plan. I know what I'm going to talk about. I may not know the details of it or where the conversation is going to go, but I know where I want to stay in the topic wise so that I can do this in real time. That way, when somebody watches this, when it's over, it still makes sense. Okay. So again, it's something I'm going to be experimenting with for the next 90 days. I'm not going to share the channel with you guys because I don't want to influence it in any kind of way. So I'm going to have a channel, 3 months. I'm going to build it up. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to build a case study. It's 100% going to be a gaming channel. And it's going to be focused on strategies that I believe are working now, that I haven't personally tested myself. So I'm not going to share them with you. But if you watch the live stream that I did about how to become a full-time streamer, it kind of falls into alignment in there. There's going to be a little bit of tweaks because of the way things have changed recently, but it's once I try it and see some results for 90 days, then I'll come and share it with you guys and you can start incorporating it. And again, my premise of doing this case study is to focus on the person that has limited time. How can I build something with limited time? Even though I don't have that restriction of time, I'm putting that restriction of time on myself so I can build this. Okay. So just just wait for 90 days, somewhere around April. I'll be announcing what's there. So overall, okay. Now, here's a big one that kind of hits hard here right? And it says, do you think it will be harder with the TikTok ban for short form content? Okay. Here is the biggest thing, okay, that I want you to kind of consider. Platforms come and go, okay? And short form content is a form of content that people enjoy consuming. Is it going to be harder with TikTok ban for shorter content? I mean, you still got Instagram, you still got Facebook Reels, you still got YouTube Shorts. Like, yeah, when you lose a platform, people have to migrate to another platform. But the biggest thing that I try to focus in on is I'm going to leverage the platform for as long as I can leverage the platform and do what I got to do on the platform until as long as I can do the platform, right? So again, when you start to think about like, how can I expand myself and put myself on other platforms and try to alleviate that? Now, you don't need to be perfect on every single platform, right? I think it's important that you try to master one, or at least try to put most of your attention towards one platform and then spend the other time dabbling in the other platforms just so you can have a presence on there. So again, is it going to be harder than ever to make content? Yeah, it's going to be more competition. But at the end of the day, what we forget to realize is that we're this big in this big world, this big circle of people. And there's always going to be an audience for you. Nothing's ever saturated. There's not too much competition. There's always going to be a group of people that connect with you, want to hang out with you, and be a part of what it is you're trying to do. Okay. So you have to think about that from that kind of standpoint and just think about it. Okay. I just want to say thank you again for all the knowledge you've given over the years. Tremendous. It's helped. Listen, if the knowledge I've given you over the last few years has been super valuable, I hope you're excited for this year because I have a massive commitment to myself, to the legacy I want to leave behind. And this is the year that I begin to do that. So I'm super excited for what's to come. All right. Before you guys, get me into the comments, because I love engaging with you guys. I kind of want to save some of it for a little bit for the end. All right. So let me get through these last 2 tips, and then I can spend some time engaging with you guys and telling you guys how much I appreciate you guys being here and how much you guys motivate me to keep doing this and how much you guys have been a part of what my goals are for this year. So talking about goals, it leads me to tip number 6, which is set realistic goals. Okay. So setting achievable goals for streaming, for life, it's super important. Okay. And what I mean by achievable goals and realistic goals is like, it's okay to have the massive vision. Okay. It's like, it's important to have the vision. Like if you don't have the vision, the overarching vision goal that it's like when you share it with people, it scares them. And they're like, okay, yeah, you're going to achieve that. It's like, yeah, I'm going to make $1 million a month. Oh, what? Yeah, listen, it's not your vision. It's not your goal. It wasn't put in your mind for you. It was put in my mind for me. And as long as I believe it and work backwards and achieve that, listen, that's all that matters. So the goal is not to say, I want to make $1 million a month, or I want to become a full-time streamer, and I want to make X amount of dollars, or I want to do this, right? It's about thinking about creating smaller, manageable goals. And I like to call this dominoes. Okay. So if you ever seen a domino effect, right? Where you have this, people have this, and listen, okay. Side note, there was a time where I got caught up in watching Domino shorts. Okay. I don't know if you guys seen it. Don't get involved in it. Because it's just like one of those things where you just watch endlessly. Okay. But when you set up a line of dominoes, all it takes is for you to knock one down and they all fall down if you lay them out correctly. If you ever laid out dominoes and you have a little bit too much of a gap in between the other ones, the break stops. Okay. And I want you to visualize that for a moment here. Okay. If the dominoes are too far apart, they won't fall. Okay. So what does that mean? If your goal is too big from goal to goal, like you start with this little goal and then you have this massive goal in between, and then you go to this little goal, guess what's going to happen? You're going to stop, you're going to start, 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 and you're not going to get the results that you want. Okay. So what does this look like in practice? Okay. How do you actually create small goals? So let's talk about this, right? And I'm going to talk about this from different areas. So let's talk about life first, right? Let's talk about kind of like health, right? And that's kind of one of the biggest things for me. So when you think about this, it's like, hey, I want to lose this much amount of weight. I want to gain this much amount of weight. I want to build this much muscle. I want to look this certain kind of way, right? Like that's the overarching goal. However, if you stop there, okay, you're not going to go ahead and continue. Why? Because when you set that goal, let's say you want to lose 20 pounds and you set that goal, okay, and there's no goals in between that, what's going to happen is that you're not going to be willing to sustain the time that it takes to hit that goal. And that's why you stop and that's why you quit. If you have a goal, say, I want to be a full-time streamer, and you just say, all right, that's my goal. And you just go and you just start doing things. You're not going to be able to sustain what it takes to get there. So you got to break it down into smaller goals. So let's say for me, right? Like in life, I'm just like, you know what? I want to be able to accomplish these certain things here. Hey, I want to get back to playing basketball. I want to get back to playing in leagues and playing in tournaments and like getting out there and like actually hooping, right? So it's like, okay, like that could be the goal, right? But then what happens, right? There's days that I don't want to hoop, that I don't want to put my shoes on, that I don't want to go to the court, that I'm just tired and I'm exhausted. And guess what happened? That goal just gets farther and farther and farther and farther away. However, if you set the vision and say, hey, I want to play inside of a league. So in order for me to play inside of a league, what are the things that need to happen for me to achieve that? I probably need to work on my handles. I probably need to get better at shooting. I need to probably get my stamina up. Okay, cool. Like those are things that I need to do. So now I'm breaking it down. Okay, so these are 3 things that I need to do. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, so if I got to work on my handles, what are the things I got to do? So I say, okay, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure that I spend 10 minutes every day dribbling a basketball. Okay, 10 minutes dribbling a basketball. Okay, and I'm just going to do that for 10 minutes every single day. Okay, now here's the difference between somebody who sets that vision and says, I'm gonna go in and join a league, versus me that says, you know what, like I want to join the league, but right now I just want to spend 10 minutes a day just dribbling the basketball. Okay, if you can start incorporating that kind of mindset of a baby step. So let's put this into practice now for content and gaming and streaming, right? It's like, hey, I want to be a full-time streamer. I want to have a massive YouTube channel. Okay, so how do you break that down into smaller, achievable goals that give you kind of a gratification that you've accomplished it and you feel good and that you're moving closer to where you want to be? So for me, if I wanted to start streaming and I wanted to be a full-time streamer and I wanted to be a full-time creator and I wanted to create content, then my goal would probably be a little bit smaller, something I can achieve. And I would say, I want to make 1 video every single week. I'm going to make 1 video every single week. Like that's literally the only thing I'm going to do. And if I do that consistently over a long period of time, what's going to happen is that the results are going to happen. Now, of course, as in the process of those goals, you start to add little goals to that because there's additional skills you have to learn to be able to achieve the end result. Like, hey, it's just not just about creating a video. Like, okay, I got to learn how to make a thumbnail. So that's a smaller goal, right? You break down the video process. So you say, all right, want to be a full-time creator? I want to be a full-time streamer. My goal is to make 1 video a week. Okay, cool. That's the smaller goal to the bigger goal. But now what's the little goal to the middle goal? So it's like, okay, like my first goal is like, I want to learn how to make a thumbnail. I want to learn how to be able to how to edit. And I'm going to spend X amount of time learning how to edit. So you don't, so what happens is now, once you start learning these individual goals and you start accomplishing these things, it starts to add up. Before you know it, you know how to make a video. Before you know it, you're making a video every week. Before you know it, your channel's growing. Before you know it, you got a community. Before you know it, you start streaming. People start showing up. Before you know it, you start getting paid. But it all started from that one action and that one goal. And the thing that actually matters is the thing that's going to get you to where you want to be. So again, the goal here is to tell you, set realistic goals because you want to be able to be super clear about the thing that actually matters that you want to be able to accomplish. And if you don't do that, you're going to be here next year listening to this conversation and you're going to say, I wish I would have started last year. I wish I would have listened and I wish I would have started. You don't need to have the answers right now. You don't need to have step 10 figured out. You just got to have a willingness to start, and then the answers come as you go. Literally how I've learned everything. Literally. Okay. It came from being curious, like, how you do this? Oh, okay, cool. You learn that. And after you learn something, you realize new questions come up. Oh, okay. Then how do I do that? So it's the same way you start streaming, right? You're like, hey, I'm playing the game. What if I start streaming? Okay. And you're like, oh, let me look up how to start streaming. And then you look how to start streaming and you're like, oh, okay. Like now I know how to start streaming, but now I got a new question. It's like, how do I add overlays to my stream? And then you add overlays and you're like, oh, like, how do I get people to actually find me? And then you get people to find you and you're like, oh, how do I get people to stay? So it's like, as opposed to sitting down and trying to answer all those questions at one time, just start with the first question and the other questions will start popping up and you'll start moving forward. Okay. The idea here is to start, keep going. And if you get stuck, find the answers. If I forgot the saying what it is, it's like when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Okay. So when you are ready, the teacher will appear to help you get unstuck from wherever it is that you're at. And at this current moment, I may not be the teacher. This may not be the talk that you need to be listening to right now at this current moment. This may not be it. Forever, for some, this may be the conversation that you needed to hear to be able to get you going and moving forward, right? So I think it's super important that you think about the snowball effect, right? Snowman, what is going on? That's funny. Snowball effect, and the snowman said, hello, what is up, man? What's going on? What is going on? It's so nice to see so many of you guys' faces in here. I'm just like super excited. So as we start to kind of get towards the end here, the most important part of this all is to make time for yourself. I can't stress the importance of self-care, exercises, hobbies, downtime. One thing that I'll tell you, and this is something that only a few people know. I think I've said it before, especially if you've been around for quite some time. I've tried 17 businesses, all which have failed until I found the one. Okay? Let me say that back. 17 businesses, all which have failed until I found the one. Okay? And what I come to realize is that something that is your hobby and something that you enjoy doing sometimes becomes something that you hate once you try to turn it into something that you have to do to pay your bills. Okay. So I want you to also be, and I kind of want to share that realization with you because a lot of the times it's a whole different story when you have to do it as a requirement, right? It's a lot different when you have a job and when you have an income and you're doing this on the side. The risk is so much lower. The enjoyment can still be there. But the minute you shift it and turn it into something that actually requires you to do work and turn something that you love into a job, there could be a different found. I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. There we go, right? Right now, you love doing the thing that you do when you're not working, when you're not at an event, when you're not with your family, like all this thing. It's like, yeah, this is my happy place. And I know people say, turn your passion into your career, into your business. And listen, 100%, you 100% can do that, okay? But the minute that passion goes away, it's hard for you to sustain. So you have to ask yourself this question, okay? I love what it is that I do. I love being on video. I love talking to people. I love engaging with you guys. I love to be able to teach. I love to be able to motivate. I love to be able to just see the best in other people and being able to just rant like I'm ranting now, right? And being able to share the things that I truly am passionate about is something that I truly enjoy. However, there are parts of this business that I do not enjoy. So what I want to share with you now is that at a certain point in this journey, you get to a point where you can go ahead and say, I like doing this part of my business and I don't like doing this part of my business. So guess what? I'm going to do more of this and I'm going to hire or get somebody to help me do this. Okay. But in the beginning, you're doing it all. And if you only do the parts that you enjoy and you don't do the parts you don't enjoy, you're better off not starting the process. And I say this not to make you feel like, oh, well, there goes my hopes. It's more or less to try to share the things with you that surprised me when I was going through this journey. Okay, because there wasn't a lot of people in my circle that can help me with the things that I was experiencing, that I could have conversations around, that it was just very difficult for me to be able to communicate or share these things, because it's just like, I'm like, oh, well, if somebody told me it was like this, I probably would have stayed in my job, or I would have stayed doing this, or I would have did this differently. So the one thing is, like, if it is your happy place, keep that happy place. But if you can see yourself doing that thing day in and day out, and you wake up and you're thinking about it, and you're at work and you're thinking about it, and you're at dinner thinking about it, and it's just constantly something on your mind. You learn about it for free. You spend money on it. You just, like, it consumes your life. And if it was you and that thing that you enjoy so much, and you would be happy, you would need nothing else. Okay. Then I want to tell you that if you're willing to be able to take the sacrifice of knowing that there's going to be things a part of this that you're going to have to do, that you're not going to enjoy, they're going to be tough, that you're like, oh my God, why am I doing this? That if you can push through that phase, that season where you're going to hate, listen, you're going to hate the thing that you love. But if you can push through that little bit of season of hate of, like, oh my God, this is a job, this is no longer fun. If you can push through that and know that it will be fun and you will enjoy it, once you get to a certain point, it will be worth it. And if I can go back and tell myself 5 years from now to endure the parts that I didn't enjoy for a longer period of time, I would be in a different place today, but I still wouldn't do it differently, because I wouldn't have the experience that I have now, and I wouldn't be able to be sitting here in front of you sharing the things that I'm sharing right now. So again, it's all hindsight, and it comes to tell you that it's like, if you truly want this thing, you have to do it. And maybe the passion that you love is not the thing that you turn out doing, but I just want you to know that although not everyone is destined to have their own business, to create their own thing, everyone has an opportunity to be able to try. Everyone has the opportunity to be able to bet on themselves and say, I can do this. And if I fail, I fail. If I didn't fail 17 times, I do not think that I would be here today, because every failure taught me a very important skill for business that then compiled together. All those 17 different businesses all taught me something about business that made the 18th succeed. Okay. But if you don't fail and you don't try and you don't experience that, guess what happens? You'll never know. You'll never know if you'll still be successful. You'll never know if life could have been differently. You never know if the things for you and your family and the opportunities that are coming about would be available for you. So I really wanted to kind of share this with you guys, mainly because life is hard. And when you're being pulled in so many different directions all the time, and ideas and thoughts and stuff, sometimes we forget to think about the things that we truly enjoy and think about what life could be like if I woke up every day and I was able to be there for my family and not miss moments with my kids and be able to still make a living and still do what it is that I love. Okay? For me, when I wake up, I can't help but think about gaming. I can't help to think about playing the game. I can't help to think about like seeing other people and it's like, hey man, like if I just like, I could probably just like game all day. It feels up to me. I'd clock in at 7 o'clock in the morning and clock out at 5 p.m. playing the game. I'll be happy. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay. So it's one of those things where it's like, although my goal has been to build an education company and to build an education company around streaming and creating content, the true underlining thing is about making you become a better human, making you feel confident in knowing that you have a voice and that you have a skill set and things you can develop to be able to reach the people that are out there waiting for you to be able to reach. Okay. Like real quick before I kind of wrap up here. Okay. Like if you haven't checked out the streameracademy.com, okay, this is a new baby of mine. And something that I'm trying to build, and it's just something that I recently went ahead and created towards the end of 2024. And I'm still actively building it. Okay, but there's tons of free things here that I'm building, and of course, at the end of the day, there's going to be some paid things as well. But for the most part, I just want you guys to get exposed to something like this, right? So this first part of it is what I call the cheat code newsletter. All right. And this is kind of the first time I'm kind of like really talking about it. And it's towards the end of this video. So most people won't even see this. So it allows me to practice how I introduce this, how I even say this. Right. But the cheat code newsletter is really revolved around 10 minutes a week. I send you an email helping you with some sort of streaming content creation. And it's just quick. It's just quick tips that I can share with you to help you keep moving forward. Okay, and those go to your inbox every single week on Fridays for 10 minutes a week. So if you're not getting those, again, just put in your email and you'll start getting those to just get educated. All right, and that's what I'm finding out, what's happening with social media, just kind of keeping you up to date. Okay, you already have access to my YouTube channel. Most of you already have access to the checklist. Okay, there is going to be a podcast launching this year, which I'm super excited about. It's probably going to be towards the half of the year. But this is going to be an opportunity for me to be able to talk to streamers who are winning now and talk to streamers who are doing it and sharing their stories and their findings and their learnings of like, I don't think enough people give credit to the streamers or give credit to people that experience like the Real Climb podcast. The premise of that is that pretty much I want to be able to share the things that people don't see when it comes to streaming and gaming and content creation. I want people to hear the stories of the times when people have sleepless nights, the discipline, the sacrifice, all the things that truly goes into it that a lot of people don't talk about. And I don't want to share like, oh, this person's been winning for 10 years. Like, I really want to talk about the creators that are like just doing it every single day. And I think we get a misconception that we need to be a 1 million subscriber channel, that we need to have millions of people watching us. Like, you don't need that many people watching you to have a sustainable career and to be able to grow and be able to like have this opportunity. Like, you don't need a lot of people. Like, you need 1,000 people at max. Like, if you have 1,000 people at max, like you're good. Listen, if you have 1,000 people each way in somehow capacity giving you $100 a year, you quit your job. You'll be set for life. Okay. Like, I think we underestimate what we truly need to be able to sustain and live, right? And then anything above that is so much more, right? So it says, man, I resonate with you so much, bro. Like, listen, it means a lot to me to hear you guys be here and to hear the things that I'm sharing and hearing that is resonating with you, because I've never taken the opportunity to be as real as I truly can be. And this year, you're going to see the realest version that I can possibly be, unfiltered, and sharing all that I can to help you guys get to where you want to be. Okay. And I think that's kind of the biggest thing. And it's also helped me learn to become a better human. And I'm also learning to develop different skills. So it says, I'm a new streamer with 104 subscribers. It's great, a great grind knowledge. Just wanted to pop in and say, I just learned so much from your channel. I have so many tutorials gone back and reference constantly. I love it. People will remember the shine, but never remember the grind. Always. And that is the goal for me with the Real Climb podcast, is to be able to share those stories so they're never forgotten. Then we have the streamer gear guide. Haven't made it yet. It's going to be 100% free. Like everything you see here is going to be free. The only thing that's going to be coming this year is the Streamer Academy Pro. Now, I just want to take a little bit of time because I don't want everybody to just come in here and put in their email. I want to kind of share a little bit about what this is going to truly be. This is one-on-one. This is kind of like hands-on mentorship with me, weekly coaching, and a community. Okay. However, it's not going to be so much dedicated to a super beginner. My goal is to make all the content that's very beginner friendly, getting you started, getting you going, like free on the channel, whether on live stream. I'm going to be doing tons of workshops and things to be able to help you get to a certain point to where it makes sense for you to be a part of that. Okay. Because in that's where I'm going to go deeper. That's where I'm going to teach you the different things that you don't like. And it's not so much about teaching. It's more about implementing with you. So I believe knowledge should be free. I don't believe that I should hold back information, and I never do. And I hope that you feel that in the content that I share. Okay. But I feel that when it comes to implementing and actually doing it and getting executed on it, like, okay, you gave me the knowledge, but how do I actually do this thing? That's where I want to step in. Okay. So this is going to be a community. It's not going to be something that is like endless. I think me and Sean have kind of been talking about it. I think it's going to be a max of 100 people, 150 people max that can be a part of this community. I don't think I can sustain anything more than that. I don't think I can give you guys the attention you deserve if it's anything more than that. But it is there. And if you did want to be a part of that or kind of know more about what that could look like, then put in your email. And when it comes about, and I don't think it's going to happen in the next 2 months or 3 months. I think this is something that's going to happen more until like after April. But if you're wanting things like this, like I'm doing now, and be able to go deeper and have somebody hold your hand and be able to give you feedback. This is the way I'm doing my videos. This is the way I'm doing my live stream. This is the things that I'm growing. How do I make money doing this? Like, this is where this is at. And I think this is going to be my new baby that I plan to build this year as an academy. And that's always been my dream, to be able to have a university or a school. And I want to make tuition free for all the free information, all the free content, everything that I can think of for free. I want to make it for free. So that way you get to a point where this makes actual sense. Okay. It's probably going to be something monthly. I have no idea on what the price is going to be. So again, that's why it's just a wait list. It's an idea, something I'm super passionate about, but I don't have it all figured out yet. Okay. And then of course there'll be little workshops, little mini things you can take. Like, here's something that I'm going to release now, which I think I'm going to release it for free. And it's the Stream Branding Foundation. Okay. This talks about how to be able to build yourself. And I didn't share it here. This is called the Stream Branding Foundation. I think this is something that I'm going to release 100% for free, simply because I think there's so much value in understanding your story, understanding how to build a community. It's the very foundation of how to brand yourself, how to define yourself, how to have focus, and how to share your story, which I believe is the most important thing you can possibly do. Because if you don't know who you're talking to, you're not going to be able to reach those people. So I plan to finish wrapping that up and getting that all filmed for you guys. And then I'll probably release it. And then you just put in your email, sign up, get access to that. And hopefully, again, things like this start bringing value to you and start educating you in ways that I can't educate you sometimes on YouTube, just because of the nature of YouTube and the way it works. There's some things that you just can't do on YouTube for it to make sense. But I hope that these resources that I'm starting to build out start to open up things here for you. And then, of course, you guys know Stream Designz is always available for you guys. There's vertical overlays on sale right now. But at the end of the day, this is not about selling or promoting you guys. It's about kind of sharing a moment in my life where I've kind of gotten super clarity on what I truly want to do when it comes to streaming and education, and how I want to give back, and how I want to add value, and how I want to win with you guys at the same time. And this is kind of a big part of where I'm taking the next 90 days, 120 days to implement the strategies that I would teach in the Streamer Academy Pro on a secret, it's a secret channel because I'm not sharing it with you guys, but it is a channel that is going to incorporate the strategies that I would teach on how to truly sustain and build something for yourself as a gaming content creator, and how to turn that into something more than just what it is. So just be on the lookout for that. I'm a big believer in being in the game, not being a coach only. And I think that that's where it's going to change. I think we'll see massive growth this year overall with everything we're trying to do. But again, patience is the biggest thing, man. So it says impact above numbers or a currency. I'm missing the context there. Super cool is going to help a lot of people out. I hope so. That's the plan, man. And I'm here for the long run. So yes, Ocean, over 5 years of very hard work and not even 100K sub yet. And I think that's what makes this journey so fun. Is the fact that it's never been about the numbers for me. It's never been about the revenue for me. Although you need money to fund the mission, right? I think when you enjoy what it is you do, and you enjoy the ride, and you enjoy playing the game, you just know that eventually, if I keep showing up, if I keep doing the things I'm doing, if I keep engaging with you guys, if I keep sharing knowledge, if I keep learning, if I keep implementing, and I keep giving, eventually, I hope that the results pay off and that I get rewarded for the time spent on the things that I'm doing. But at the end of the day, the goal here is to leave a legacy and to feel like I'm a part of each one of you guys' journey, to say, man, I started streaming because I saw a video from Curry. I decided to take a leap and do this thing because I saw something that Curry said. Man, I can't believe that if it wasn't for this video, this comment, this content, these things that I saw, the things that he provided, if I didn't get exposed to that, I probably wouldn't have done the thing. And I think for me, that's the most rewarding thing, to know that I can impact so many lives because I'm willing to show up and make a video and share knowledge and be able to inspire you guys to do more than what you possibly could do by yourself. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this here tonight, make sure you like it and make sure you like the stream. And if you want to see how 10 hours a week can get you to start streaming, creating content, and be able to go ahead and go full time by doing these small activities every single week, I encourage you to go ahead and watch this video right here. It's on the screen. It's a long video, but it's worth the watch. I just want to say that I appreciate all of you. I love you all. And it wouldn't be possible for me to be here if it wasn't for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. I'm going to say goodnight to you guys. And I want to be able to just wrap up here. Hey, quick shout out to the professor. I've been bringing your OBS series, binging the OBS series. I love it. You already made history with how much you help many different creators. I love that. Man, I'm going on 8 years, not YouTube. And I know you've helped me a lot in many of your content. So thank you. I appreciate you all. Dev, I appreciate you as always. And again, this is all about us. It's about community, right? One of my mottos has always been, together, we all can thrive. I've never seen nobody as competition. I've never seen somebody taken away from me. I've never seen me sharing knowledge to be something that's going to hurt me. And I want you guys to operate and think the same way. Helping others does not take away from you. Okay? Share, help, inspire others. Life is just more enjoyable that way. And I hope that you guys feel the love that I have for you guys. So have a good night. Time for me to spend some time with Shauna, have some dinner, watch a movie, and be here. So hope you found value tonight. And again, go watch that video right there to see how you can do this in 10 hours a week. Love you all. See you soon. Congratulations on 259 subscribers. Quitting. Awesome job. Thank you all. See you soon. Peace, peace.